Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And we're here right on the dot, not in late, at 6:30 to talk with John and Josh here, who are joining me again. The last two were on Josh's channel on Shadow and Summer and Betrayal in Winter. And here we are talking about An Autumn War, book 3 of the Long Press Quartet. Just letting y'all know, like, I mean, if you're here and you haven't read it, I don't really know why, because it's book 3 of a series. It's gonna be spoilers basically from the get-go. I mean, I'll ask them some non-spoiler thoughts to start out with, but it's mostly gonna be spoiler stuff. So, you know, consider that your warning. If you're spoiled for anything, and I wouldn't, if I were you and you haven't read this, I wouldn't.
Oh no,
for this book. Like,
do not.
Yeah. So if I were you, I would just like say hey and then dip out and go read the books. Seriously, guys. So John, we'll start with you. Give your just initial non-spoiler thoughts about Autumn War.
Okay, this is what I got to do, Alan, and I have to do it.
I hate
today, guys. Right. Today, guys. We got to all say Alan's right. This man is right. You should listen to him whenever he says a book is great. You drop everything you're doing and reading, and you go out and you pick it up because he's right, and not enough people listen to it.
At least on this one, for sure. Like, I agree. Like, a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I get it, but like, I'll stick behind this particular series.
Oh my dude, this book 3 might be. I mean, it's gonna take a while. I gotta look at it. It might be an all-timer for me. Like, it could seriously be an all-timer for me. Definitely, if you're just saying best story I've ever read about the cost of magic in speculative fiction, like getting too close to the fire, messing with it, relying on it. This is it. This is hands down the book I would go, this is everything that is that.
Yeah. Upon reread, it moved up toward the top of my just like books that I just read. I'm just in awe of it when I'm done.
Yeah.
Josh, your thoughts?
Well, spoiler free, it's kind of tough. I kind of circle back to Alan, something you said on our last live stream, is that the series is greater than the sum of its parts. And I'm starting to feel that, although this book is a contender for my book of the year, and it is my favorite of the 3. You know, like John said, the toll, the price of magic, but also the cost of just war has never been driven home in such a way that, like, I felt it in my stomach.
Yeah.
I told Alan on the chat yesterday, I said, I think my initial reaction when I don't know where I put it, somewhere, I just wrote the words damn, just damn, because that's what I felt at the end of this thing. I feel like Daniel Abraham just beat me up in like all the best ways. I mean, you know me, I'm a Robin Hobb fan. I love being emotionally wrecked. And Abraham just, my goodness, just off the charts. Yet again, I mean, we talk about this like half of a volume.
It's 360 pages.
360 pages.
Yep. It's 360 pages in my hardback. It's insane. Insane.
It's a really pretty, it's just a remarkable book. And it kind of, this book, I felt it kind of sneaks up on you because of the way the narrative starts and what's going on. You think it's going to be this thing. And then when it turns into what it ultimately turns into, my goodness.
Yeah. I was telling John before you showed up backstage, like reading this a second time, everything that happens is filled with portent. Like every line that they say, and just even the opening, the prologue is a short story that is just phenomenal in and of itself. Like I was just like, I had goosebumps listening to Ballister Geist and their journey out of the desert, where we see, again, not fully explicit, but like we're given hints of, desert floor thin as paper where people fall through, and just how horrible the desert is from when the Ondats were fighting in the First Empire or whatever. And, he comes out with 3 of his 20 men, and we feel what Sinja and what Houston and Cole feel. Like we feel Ballister Geist's intent, his intention, his sheer will driving them on. Like Abraham does a fantastic job just setting up Geist just in the beginning
Yeah.
And we see the cost of the Chi-8 having used the Ondats before, where Geis remembers when he was a kid, them having to climb to their roof because they were flooded. And that, like, so when in the early books, when it's talking about water runs down, like that's water runs down. Like it's from when they mentioned one of the earlier books. And, you know, his entire town, his best friend is drowned, like his whole town is drowned. And that's what he decided his mission was going to be, destroy the Ondat. And he goes into the desert to get, you know, a book. And in the last book, we heard the same thing that Mati reads again, the thing about freedom from bondage. So it's just like, and Geis turns to Houston and he says, guys, do you want to know? You want to know why we're doing this? Because do you know the only reason that they haven't nuked us yet with those Ondat? Because they haven't chosen to. Because they have chosen not to. That is it. And he talks about their pocket gods, and it just gives me chills. Like, this is a man who is determined. And from that opening, it's just like, what is he gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah. Any thoughts on Geis? Like, what are your thoughts on Ballister, the Galdic general? Josh?
I remember one scene. So I didn't like, I don't know what you guys felt about Sinja.
I hate Sinja.
Okay,
Sinja.
Good. Okay, good. Because I didn't like him either. I wasn't sure if no,
Anita knows. That's why she said he was my favorite earlier, because she knows I hate Sinja.
Well, no. So, but there's a scene with Sinja that I really, really liked, where he just, one of my favorite things is when you see a character from someone else's perspective, and we're seeing Geis from Sinja's perspective, and he's says something to the fact that I would follow this man anywhere, and I wish I could follow this man anywhere. And I think that informs a lot about that character. When you see someone who is basically playing the double agent, is supposed to hate this man, but just sees the redeeming qualities and sees what he's all about and sees he's a great man, and they're just at odds as far as what to do. So for me, that informed Geis a lot. Just that one little scene, just from Sinja's perspective.
And I love that Geis is not an intimidating figure himself. He's small, like he's a little guy, and you know, he's nondescript. He's not impressive to look at, but the way he talks and his just his aura, as the kids say, is just like drives people on. What about you, John? Thoughts?
Here's the thing about Geis to me. Like you say, his not impressive stature, but his commitment.
Yes.
His commitment to his motivation is unyielding and unbendable. And that is what, and I mean, let's face it, we're not going to not be all in on Mata and Ota at this point. We've traveled with him too far.
Yeah.
So whether you can see the rationale in what Geist is saying, and there is rationale there, right? He's going to take the role of the antagonist here. There's just no other way, because we've traveled too far with our other two characters. But that's what I love about the antagonist, is that when he starts to explain his motivations and the commitment and his backstory of where he came from and why, it's completely rational.
Yeah.
And you would, and if I were born in a different place, I would completely follow him to the gates of hell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and this just took me back to when I was growing up, and there was that Cold War, mutual destruction thing going on, and I flashed back on that old song, I hope the Russians love their children too, you know. And as I'm reading this,
Billy Joel,
it's Sting. And as I was reading this,
sorry,
as I was reading this, I was like, that's the flaw in that. That's the flaw in this. They each love their children so much, they're willing to give up the other person's children. They're willing to sacrifice all those kids because they do love their kids so much. That's where this platitude falls apart. That's the sad tragedy of humanity, that we can't even find connectivity through our kids that we want the best for.
Doesn't Liat say that?
It's just tragic on so many levels.
Doesn't Liat say, I don't love the Galds. I know they've got children. I don't know them. I don't know their kids.
I know my kids.
Yeah. It's completely agree, John. Like, and what Geist does is abominable. What he does is monstrous. But
is it?
if I mean,
It's no worse.
it is from the human cost. It is, but if he does not do it that way, there is no point in him doing it, because, like he says, he's like, I didn't come to give Galt an Ondat. Like, I did not come to rule the Kayate. I came to destroy it.
Yeah.
He's even going against the High Council in Galt because they want him to bring him back an Ondat. He's like, no one should have these. And the only way to do it is to kill every single person who is able to bind an Ondat, to kill every poet and get rid of every, anything written down. That's why he makes Ota burn the library at the end. Like, even just like storybooks and stuff, who knows where like a thread and people could piece it together. He has to commit, or else there's no point.
But that's the whole thing. Like Anita right there saying that doesn't give them the right to kill everyone.
That's true.
Here's the sad human truth, right? That if you're going to sleep well at night, you need leaders that are willing to step up and make that choice for you.
I mean, yeah. Like we see that with Satani.
That's
Kai Satani.
That's this world. That's our world. That's any world. You need Geist on that wall. You want Geist on that wall because he's willing to shoulder it and make the choice and make the decision.
It's like that's the other Kai. The Kai of Satani does the same thing with Ota. Like, Ota takes the responsibility of what they should do against the Galts. And, and that's why they proclaim him emperor, because you know what? It's going to live and die on the back of Ota instead of...
But at the very end, when Ota sits at the table with Geist, he's like, yeah, I could sit with this guy. I could talk with this guy. He recognizes himself in him because your leaders are the people that they've got to lean in and put their hands in the fire for the sake of everyone. That's the sad truth.
In Geist's defense, they were waiting on the Dai Quo. Liat shows up and says, you need to kill the Galts now.
Yeah.
And if the Dai Quo had gotten back to him, Samai would have stone-made softed the crap out of him.
Yeah.
So there was a human decision right there. They should have just, well, hindsight, I'm sure they wish they would have.
Well, we see they talk about, like, when Ota's sitting down with Geist, he says, like, you're right about the Ondat. Like, if it wasn't now, it would have been later, because their power is too great and the human heart is too weak. And we saw that with Rian, or whatever it is, the rogue poet, who's mad because it's hard to piece together. But this is what I love. Unlike any modern entertainment now, which has to spell it out for you, we're left with, he had a fever, right? And that kind of changed his temperament. It did something to his brain. And because his temperament was changed, they booted him out and would not let him be a poet. Is that correct? Did y'all get anything else from that?
That's what I got. He no longer had the temperament to perform.
Yeah. And he's going to show them by, he binds freedom from bondage. And one of my favorite scenes is Stone Made Soft just looking up going, that's interesting. And then gone. and Samai is just oh, it's just so good. And I don't know, like, Geist is just so well written, and you see that he doesn't want people to die. Like, he doesn't want, he's not taking pleasure in killing these people. Like, but he's like, it has to be done. He's like, he treats it as a dirty job that has to be done, or else, Galt will one day be destroyed. And I don't know. Just a great character.
I agree. I really liked him. That character. And
I think the one reason that, and it was just great by Abraham, is we got him early in the book and we saw what he was all about early. So we didn't initially see him at least I didn't see him as, okay, well, this is going to be the big bad in the series. But like everything else, I mean, it's the one thing that's been impressive with these three books, we've seen, Mati and Ota obviously through all three books, but like Liat coming back from book one,
she's so different.
The character development throughout. I mean, that's one thing as someone who just adores character writers of this level. I mean, he's he's quite remarkable because, like we were talking right before we started the thing with Mati, is all those little insecurities and all the little things that were part of him as a boy. That's kind of what sabotaged him at the very end of this book. And I have no idea where it's going to go after this.
When I first read When Sterile is Summoned, I have never seen anything like that, where such a huge, first of all, Sterile creating such a huge world state change. Second, that Daniel Abraham foreshadowed that in the prologue of book 1 with Ota breaking the game for Mati, that one choice, this is the price they're paying. That one choice of Ota's back then caused this, because Mati would never have, as Sterile says, Mati would never have made it.
No,
he would never have been a poet if Ota had not given up the game. And Sterile just lays it bare. Sterile says, no, Aya, Mati is happy that all those people binded or failed to bind the things, because Mati is taking pleasure because he doesn't get to do it. Mati is like, and he's such a complex, nuanced character because, like, he is a good man. But as Ota says, in one of my favorite quotes, a good man should not be able to make decisions with a price this high. And it's, Mati is a regular person where his heart, he's like Nait. He's like his son.
Yep.
Like, he also really wants to be a good man, and just life has just like hit him, and he just isn't where he wants to be.
And I was so expecting, because that's what you expect. You expect the happy ending that, oh, Mati, he's been this guy, and like he's going to redeem himself from book 1, and he's going to
think you see the redemption arc,
and then, oh no, that's not where we're going.
No, that is not where we're going. But you know, the greatest thing is, like what you're saying, Alan, is that that's that theme of servitude that I see running through all of this. And that's what I'm saying about leaders. Like, Geist is willing to make these choices and these decisions to protect his people, right? Mati's never going to be that guy. He wants to be a good man. That's his quest, as quixotic as it is in this world. Like, whereas, you know, Ota has accepted a whole different level of servitude. He has to lean in and make these decisions. He has to look at his kid and make these decisions. Well, if it's them or us, it's them. He was never going to have those two qualities that you had to have.
Yeah.
And one of them was the sheer brutality to push somebody down and make them eat dirt from the prologue of the first book. He was never going to have that.
Yeah. The strength of character, but then not to have it turn to cruelty, which, you know, is, and like Mati just has so much bitterness. He blames Liat for not being part of Nait's life. And you know what? And what makes it worse, and what makes Mati even more sympathetic, is the fact that he's not wrong. Like, he's not wrong. Liat did take Nait from him. Liat left him. So Liat did take Nait from him. Ota and everyone else was counting on him. They forced him to do the bind. They didn't force him, but they were behind doing the binding. And
they backed him for sure.
Like he says at the end, he's the only one now. The Kayate women and the Galtic men would disagree, but he's the one being punished for for having. And it comes back to, well, Ota's not punished. Like, what the crap? Ota wanted me to do this. Why? Like, and it's understandable. He would be less sympathetic if he was making up grievances. But his grievances are understandable. Like, that doesn't mean they're right. That doesn't mean he should sit there and nurture them.
Yeah.
But they're not unreasonable. So I don't know.
What's your take, Josh? I don't want to steamroll in here.
Yeah. No, I think the one thing that surprised me is I thought at the end of book 2 that Mati was going to be able to go be with Liat. Mm-hmm. Is what I felt was probably going to happen in between books. And then to find that she pushed him away as well, just, I think, added to, you know, it's just I so feel for this character, because it seems like every time that he's starting to make progress, get ahead, be respected or whatever, it all comes crashing down for him. And
here's the one thing I see there that I think is going to be his descent into this last book, is that he and yes, you're absolutely right, Alan. Like, it is understandable. His grievances are completely understandable. But I think we would all agree, like, a true good man in the classic sense would self-realize and self-actualize to take responsibility fully of what happened, no matter whose responsibility it was. He would care. And there's some part, here's the true tragedy. There's some part of Mati that carries that soul crushing guilt, because he knows he is enough of a good man. It is enough of his journey that is there. But at the same time, he's enough of a thinker and a worker that he's going to rationalize and try and spread it around. And this is going to be his spiral. That I think is coming up. I hope he gets some kind of absolution, but I seriously doubt it.
We'll see. I know you guys said you don't know where it goes from here. I didn't know where it goes from here either. So we'll see.
No idea.
So I like what, again, Abraham handles the years passing really well. It's another 13 years or whatever. And first of all, I never liked Sinja at the end of book 2, and I really hate him in this book. And something happened between Kian and Sinja. We know they didn't do it, because they do say they didn't do it, but they had some kind of like emotional affair or something that happened.
Yeah.
And I hate him. Like, what do you, Sinja? I hate you. And also,
something happened. Like, there was something.
Yeah, I originally read it that there was an affair, but then later on it did say there wasn't physical.
Mm-hmm. It was some type of an emotional connection.
Yeah.
But look right there. Like, a true, like, Ota still self-actualizes. I'll take my part of this. You don't have to be pushed away. You can still carry these important things for us. You can still be a part of my wife's life. Even though this happened, like, you can see the clear lines between these two characters.
Yeah. And we don't, we also, Ota is not Superman. We see him struggle with this. Like we see him get, jealous about Sinja and Kian. Ota, the thing is, unlike Mati, Ota has the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Mati is just like, he's just a local celebrity. Like,
he just floats, man.
He doesn't have a job, really. And Ota has a job he does not want, but no one else can take. And, he's the only one. That's why we still call him Ota. Everyone else, we don't even know what Tai Satani's name is. He's called his city, because that's what the Kais are supposed to do. They're supposed to become their city. But Ota won't marry another wife. Kian is it. And, he doesn't want to have any more children, because he does not want to risk having another boy. And it's, I don't know, like, Ota is just, Mati continues to call Ota, he says, his old friend and enemy and rival. Like, he keeps using those 3 words. It's like, what did Ota do to you? Like, he's not your enemy, Mati. But like, their relationship is so complicated, because they do love each other. Like, because they have been friends for 30 years. Like, they have known each other for so long.
I mean, there's a point, like, at this part, even Kian, and there's a point at this part, no one can understand the two of them, like the two of them.
Yeah.
At this point, like, they've just gone through too much.
Yeah.
Well, and that shared history with the trauma, especially all the way back to book 1. I mean, for me, that shapes so much of both of the sequels, is just everything they went to, especially because they were young. And we know that, emotionally, the things that happen to us in kind of those ages kind of imprint upon us for quite a long time. Yeah. And I think that just kind of emotional baggage is probably, at least for me, the reason I think Mati has such conflicted thoughts about Ota. But part of it is himself as well, because, you know, he was the one that cheated with Liat, and he felt bad about that because it was his friend, even though he thought he loved her and all of this, and Ota didn't. So part of that is almost like he's fulfilling the who was the poet in the first book?
Heshai.
Yeah, it was almost like he actually picked up some of Heshai's self-loathing himself.
Well, he says that.
Yeah, I wonder if some of that own self-doubt had to come into play when he tried to bind the formerly the Ondot formerly known as Seedless.
Yeah, but yeah, he even says like that was where it had gone wrong with that, you know, self-doubt and self-loathing of Heshai, and he recognized it in himself. That's why he was working so hard, and he wanted to take more time. And it's like, how chilling was
Sterile
when Sterile showed up. Like that was straight up.
It's terrifying. Like
that's straight up nightmare fuel, man. When she shows up in that room and it looks like Seedless and it's not Seedless, and you think it's something you can recognize, but you can't even. The power is so you can't even recognize it.
Yeah. That scene, John, that was the scene for me where literally it went from this is a really good book to, oh, this is going to be like one of the books of the year. Yeah. I mean, like right there, I was just like, holy crap. And then it goes even more.
And then it
find out what really happened.
Because at the beginning, you think he succeeded.
Yes. You think. Yeah.
And then finally, Mati's like, oh no, I failed. And he's like, yeah. And then you realize, because the whole time from the beginning, like the whole thing is that Mati he has figured out a way, which, and again, so tragic for Mati, without this war, Mati's invention or discovery would make him, he'd be one of the most famous, celebrated poets in Kayate history, because he found a way, so he thought, to deflect the cost,
the price,
except that other people have to pay it for you.
You still have to pay. There's still a cost. If you're going to change nature, there's going to be a cost.
It is absolutely, it's what Abraham does so well in this series is that there are too many fantasy books and video games and movies where choices don't have consequence. And every decision these people make have consequence. We are still, book 3 is entirely dependent on the choices that these 3 made in book 1.
Yeah.
Mati sleeping with Liat. Ota sleeping with Liat, even though he was done with her on his way out of town. Ota strangling Heshai. Like all of this stuff.
Ota telling Mati how the game's rigged.
Yes.
In the prologue.
Yes, every single thing that they did, they are paying the price for now. And it's just like, it's just really, really good. Like and I also like just on a technical, we always talk, you know, how much he does in 360 pages. I love the way when Liat first shows up, we have a Liat POV. She doesn't walk us through the whole thing about the missing poet. We kind of get hints of her thinking about it, whatever. But normally in a lesser author's hands, this is where she would info dump for us all the information that she's pieced together. We don't see that till her meeting with Ota, where it is natural that she would be explaining that to someone who doesn't already know it. I thought it was masterful. Like ordinarily, we would just get the info dump. He waits for a natural place where they would normally info dump that information. And I just noticed it this time through.
Yeah, he's like Erickson in that regard. He gives it to you when you need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I just finished Deadhouse Gates, and I absolutely, because I see, first of all, like you say, 300 and some odd pages. So the compression, but then to have the patience to wait within that compressed, heightened sense of reality to put it at just the right time. And it's like that. We all thought, oh my gosh, Mati actually pulled it off. Mati actually did it because he waits for just the right. He waits for it. Like it's that ticking clock, right? In every Mission Impossible movie or something, like they're not going to pull it off. They're not going to pull it off. Yes, they pulled it off. Yeah. Oh, no, they didn't pull it off. Like it's just the right beat and rhythm and drop, and it's in such a compressed amount of time. It's
Now,
amazing.
let's talk about the women, because I think Kian and Liat shine in this. Like they're something else, man. Like when the
and
men are
Ota's
off the
daughter
board-
too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Aya.
Yeah.
Aya, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aya, who likes Mati more than she likes her dad.
yeah.
And that's because
Which tracks. That always
I mean,
happens.
look, Ota is too busy with the business of being the Kai, and
Yeah.
he has a sick son. So this is why, like Munchausen, like Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen by proxy happens. Like
Yeah.
the sick kid gets all this attention, and so but Mati's there. Mati's there, and he gives Aya all kinds of attention, and so
he's
she
the cool.
has.
He's the cool uncle
He is
that
the
runs the
Yeah.
library, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you totally see it.
And meanwhile, while the men are at war, Kian and Liat are keeping the city running.
Yeah.
And they've got between them the fact that Liat's son is Ota's son, which I got chills. I read it twice. When Aya gets in trouble for the bracelet, stealing the bracelet, and she's like, "I'll tell everybody Nait's your son." And Kian says, "If you do that, you are literally killing your brother. And I want you to know that, because you will have made the choice
Yeah,
to do that. And so when they kill each other and your brother dies, I want you to know that it is your fault, because you did not have to say it, and you chose to, because you're getting in trouble for something you know was wrong to do." Like Tian, like she floored me. Oh my gosh. It was just
but that's in line and in this world how consequences matter, and the theme of servitude. Like, you have social constructs of this world and this nation that you have to answer to, and it's
I loved with Liat. I was having flashbacks to book one. Was it Amal? What was her name?
Amat Kian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amat.
So I was having flashbacks because she was really reminding me of her, just the kind of matronly woman who has a whole lot of competence, who's just not going to suffer a fool and is just going to like do the thing. And you could tell that she learned from her. And just thinking back when it was book one, she was still, even though she was kind of like the apprentice or whatever, she was still kind of the silly young girl in many ways. So that was a cool little thing, because, we saw Mati and Ota in the interim. We haven't seen Liat since the first book.
yeah.
So to see her kind of just personal growth there in, like you say, with her and Kian just taking over running the city while, all the men are off making war.
Yeah, but
I
she was
really liked that.
I mean, not only running the city with Kian, but she's the one that figured out what's going on. She's the one coming with the message. She's the, and talk about choices. She could have left her son behind. She could have forced him to stay behind. And she,
If he'd forced to stay behind, he'd be dead anyway. He'd still be dead.
How was that death for you guys? Tell me how that death played out for you guys.
It is, first of all, I remember that he said that I remembered that he sacrificed himself for Danat, and that was I forgot that was just a story they told, that he didn't really do anything. But that was just like, again, the guy wants to be a good man, but he doesn't know how. He doesn't know what to do, and it did not help. It did not help Liat at all. That final scene with Kian and Liat is just heartbreaking, because Kian has her kids and Liat does not have hers, and there's nothing Kian's going to say that's going to make Liat feel better.
Nothing.
And yet Kian arranged it. Like Liat told her to give Nait something to do, and Kian said, "Okay, he can guard my kids
again."
Yeah,
but it was almost a nice little arc, even though he didn't really do much. But he at least, I don't know, he gained a little bit of honor.
Yeah, he tried. He wasn't effective, but he tried. And
he will be remembered as he will be remembered.
I think in the trying, he decided, like, he could have run away and hid behind a tree. Like he he stepped up and tried. He stepped
Yeah.
up and tried to do what he was duty bound to do by his mother, right?
Yeah.
And by this young child that was ill. And I mean, I was telling Alan before he came on, I think before you even popped on, Josh, it's like we used to back in the day when we were doing theater, there was this one patron that would always come. He'd sit in this front row in the center. And you always knew the night he was there because, you know, something would happen on stage and you would hear, whoa, from, I mean, you know, like he would vocalize, he'd be so into it. When that death hit, I made a noise. Like I was reading the book and I actually went, oh, like it hit me at such a level. I had to make a noise. I became that guy that used to come to my shows. I had to make a noise. It hit me to that level.
Yeah. And just like the characters are so good that like I hated when Houston and Geis realized that Sinja had betrayed them because I just love the characters so much. And I felt like Geis, Houston so many times was told he was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Geis put so much trust in Sinja. And you know, like it's just throwaway scenes really where they realize it. But it felt for them, even though, you know, they're the invaders or whatever. But Liat like blaming, you know, she blames Aya. She blames everybody because I mean, you have to. Like, what if him and Aya and Donat had left early like they were supposed to, right?
Yeah.
What if Houston and Geis weren't as brilliant at the game of war as they were? Because remember, there wasn't going to be anybody north of the city, but Houston was like, no, I heard there's some mines north, like just in case someone tries to run, I'm gonna put some people there. Like, just what if anything had been different? Would that have saved Nait? And Liat has nothing now. Like she has, like her city's probably destroyed. And just when people read Shadow and Summer and they DNF it, one of it's always they hate the poses, which are almost unnoticeable by book 3.
Yeah.
And
you just don't even. I don't even. Yeah.
And they think Liat is super annoying, and I'm like, I agree, but she's a teenager, and I can't say wait till book 3. Like I can't say she's like she comes back later, and you see that this is all on purpose because she is such a hardened, like tough lady. She's a tough old broad.
Oh, she's a badass, man.
Oh yeah,
like she is a badass. She has been through it.
Yeah.
One thing I love about Geist and is he
Houston.
Geist. He doesn't see that he doesn't see Sinja coming.
Yeah.
You know, like if he was completely and totally, I mean, he's committed, but if he was completely and total, like he would go, never trusting you. You come from them. I'm never going to buy in. It's not going to ever happen. I'm always going to keep you right here next to me so I can shank you when I need. Mm-hmm. But you know what? He does start to trust him. He does start to believe him. He does show a little bit of humanity. And at the end, when he says, you know what, I think I can get into the city and make this happen with the least amount of bloodshed on both sides. Again, he shows enough humanity to let him go in and, like, he's not a monster. Like he completely believes in what he's doing, but you can't point to the guy and say he's monstrous.
Well, in addition, the whole reason that they stopped the Galts, the whole reason the Galts didn't mow over everything is because Sinja gave that fake speech about not running and about the things it would be really bad if all of these other cities started doing this, like fouling the water and tearing up the roads.
Yeah.
Scorched earth. That would be really bad if they started doing that. And
like here's the strategy.
Like Sinja is responsible for them holding off the Galts long enough for Mati to. And the thing is, Mati did save the Kayate. Like Mati did save them. It is Mati summoning Sterile, even screwing it up.
Yeah,
that leads to the peace talks. So. Imagine how pissed Mati is when like he's even though he screwed up, he's literally the only reason that they're not all dead. Like it's because Geis had Ota's number. He figured out that it was a trap and they were done. Like they were done. And then they get gelded. And that is painful. So
and that was written so well too. I was I was uncomfortable
when that happened. when the men and women started to fall, like
yeah, that was visceral.
that
and
was
it's a twist on Mati's personality, like his cruelty. He wants them all destroyed, and he's like, okay, Sterile she is like, I'll do you one better. Guess what? Both of y'all will be destroyed unless y'all work together. Because guess what? Nayit women can't have kids, and neither can Galtic men.
Yeah.
So she said, either every one of y'all will continue as a half breed, or you won't continue at all.
Yeah. But that's such a beautiful ending to that feeling I had of, oh, it's because they love their kids. It's because they love their kids more than than those people's kids that got us here. And now Sterile takes us to a new world order where you can't think that way anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
in a visceral, brutal way.
It's beautiful in a horrible way.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the, like, I think Abraham again handles this really well. The relationship with Liat and Mati and Ota and Nayit, and the dancing around like him being Ota's son, and Mati, like, again, I keep going back to sympathy for Mati. Like, imagine how that feels. Like, Mati raised him. Ota didn't.
Yeah.
Mati raised him.
Yeah.
Mati raised him. Liat left him. He knows it's Ota's now. That they didn't when he was young, but he does now. Like, very obviously Ota's kid. Like, I don't know how that feels. That has not happened to me, but I can imagine, because I have kids. Like, I can imagine. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand why Mati he's trying his best, but he's just so mad. And really Liat is too. Liat is also just like burning with mad. What was your thought on?
It's just another reason to just have such empathy for Mati, is what I felt.
Yeah.
Is because even when they were not dancing around it anymore, that Nayit looks like Ota, it's Ota's kid, he would just refuse. He says, no, he's my son. I raised him. And he wouldn't back down from that. And I mean, there's some nobility in there, but it's just yet another facet of why I think Mati is such a sympathetic character. And then you hope at the end of the book he's going to get that redemption, and it's just and it's worse.
But it's but at the end when they're hiding in the caves, and oh my god, it's so much worse. But this is why you root for Mati, because he does that journey to be a good man. No, I am this young man's father. I don't care what the facts are. I internalize this. I personalize this. I love him. He is mine. And they even have those moments where they somewhat kind of come to terms with each other, you know, as father and son. Because, he doesn't know Ota's his dad. He's the one person that doesn't snap to it.
Do you guys think that Nayit never figured it out?
No, Nayit does not. Nayit truly thinks,
he's done.
I'm coming to terms with my father here with Mati. Like, he's the one person that doesn't get it, because he's so, tunnel vision on, here's my dad. I gotta make things right. Both of them want to make things right. Both of them want to be a good man, and they kind of do. And it's part of this that I think that drives Nayit to make the sacrifice at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the absolutely, doesn't have to be a fantasy book, just the absolute human family interaction between Nayit and his mom, between Nayit and Mati. Like Liat's let him grow up thinking that Mati abandoned them. Like, I'd be pissed too if I was Mati. And he just writes it so well. Like, the way that they interact and they talk, and then Mati and Liat like reconnecting as lovers, and them sharing things that no one else knows, because they have that shared history too.
No one else can know. Sure.
That subtlety with that, I think, was so well handled, because so often you see the times where you have just, oh, we got together when we were kids and now we're just going to get back together, and it's never that simple. And just seeing the way that he kind of eases the way into these two characters, just trying to, well, not necessarily trying, but eventually connecting with one another in whatever way they connect. I thought it was done with a lot of subtlety. I mean, that's one of the things that I really enjoy, just his characterization, because he's not, I was talking on another live stream recently about authors that spell it all out for you versus authors that let you discover it yourself. And he does that just really masterfully in these books with the characters, just allowing you to discover where the character growth is taking them and how that affects the story with all of them.
He does that really well with the emotion of fear in this book. Everyone is terrified, including guys. And again, in lesser hands, that would be at the forefront. Instead, the fear is almost never addressed. The fear is in the background. Like
it's part of the ether. You don't have to.
But it's coloring everything they say. Like, it's coloring the decisions they're making. Like the anger that they're feeling. It's all because they're afraid. Yeah. But he doesn't ever stop and just tell us that. Like it's just there. And it's just so good. It's subtle. It's great.
Yeah, but that I think for me, that's why this will be one of my top reads of the year, like Josh was saying, because he keeps all those plates on sticks and spinning. The characterizations are deep and three-dimensional, and each one is different. Ota's going to handle being spurned by a lover differently than Mati will. Liat is going to be different in her later years than her younger years. Different, and Kian is going to be different in her later years as well, but not the same as Liat. But they'll be able to work together. And then there's conflict amongst everyone, and then there's this never-ending drive of the world where he keeps this plate spinning of our way of life is extinct. It's an existential threat. What are we willing to do to keep our children, our way of life, our existence moving forward? What decisions will we make? And how far will we other the other people to make that decision? Yeah. And that's going on both sides. And then you layer in this bit of the most, just a beautiful magic system that we've talked about several times through book 1 and 2. It's like every one of these steps, the world building, the magic system, the conflict, the motivations, the character, the real character and their interactions and on an interpersonal level, like none of these plates fall off their sticks. They keep going all the time.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see if there's any magic in this last book, because On Daughter Gone, all the books have been burned. I mean, is there going to be any way for any poet to make the attempt and able to bind an Ondot in any way, or is it done? Really,
if anyone would try, it's Mati, because he'd be pretty driven to do something.
Well, I mean, there are literally, I mean, it says it. There are 2 poets left in the world, and it's Samai and Mati. They are the only poets left,
and they're on the run.
And I mean, we see Ota burns Heshai's book. Like, he lets Geist burn the library, including all of the poet stuff. Because Ota's like, I mean, I agree. And if we're going to do this, then
let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I have heard that the narrator pronounces it Gisei, but I mean, when you don't eat your sushi on top of Risei, right? And when it's cold, the ground doesn't turn, like, you don't slip on Issei. It's rice and Geist.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, he was looking for a city to sack. You're absolutely correct, Mitch. Guys, it's man, it is. I love talking to y'all about this, and Sam is absolutely correct. This is proof that you do not need 800 pages to tell a memorable epic fantasy. Look at how fast this war goes. Like,
oh my gosh,
months are gone and weeks are gone between chapters. Like, this war, and that's the last thing we need to talk about, is the war. The war is the backdrop. Like, the war is the backdrop, just like the war is the backdrop for the human exploration of how it affects these people. But I do like how Abraham writes about how noisy it is. Like Ota had no idea how noisy it was going to be. Like he'd always heard that arrows were going to like be just this blanket blocking out the sun, and he doesn't even see the arrows. He just sees them sprouting from people as people fire them. And just about how just wrecked you are versus veterans. Like this hastily trained militia is just absolutely wrecked by these veterans. And so they have to resort to tricks and ambushes, which Sinja says, yeah, that's dishonorable that Cole got killed, but they tried to fight honorably and they got crushed. So I can't really fault them for, jumping out of the woods and doing ambushes. What y'all think of the actual like war itself? Josh, what'd you think?
I liked that it didn't go on too long. Because for me, that's always, I'm not a huge, like, I don't gravitate towards like battles and, that kind of thing in fantasy. So I appreciated that every little kind of, it was almost like vignette, we're at this city and then later we're at the next thing. And then the thing splits. And I appreciated that it was so concise, but something you just brought up, Alan, about the, just hearing the things. That's something that I've noticed since the first book, is that Abraham's really good at just conveying all the senses to you. Like we've talked before about, how cold it felt in the second book at times and in Maki and everything. And he's really good at that. And for me, that helps bring it to life when authors are able to just delve into, more of the senses than just, sight, which seems to be the one that everybody writes about. And that's something that I did notice, even talking about kind of the sensory nature of the aftermath of these battles as well. So that's another thing that I thought Abraham did really well.
Yeah, this is okay. I think he's a master storyteller, and I think he's a master storyteller because he's studied the masters.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Russian masters, in the most tumultuous time of their country, what do they focus on? They focus on a few people in a house in the middle of the winter. We get the St. Crispin's Day speech from Henry V. We don't see the battle. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We get someone screaming, "My kingdom for a horse."
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We get someone screaming, "My kingdom for a horse." We don't need to see the battle. We get a young Antigone lamenting that her brother is out there. We don't need to see the battle. The human drama that is portrayed with this backdrop of the most tumultuous time in this earth's history. And these are the people whose egos drive it to those times and rectify it from those times and make the decisions and the mistakes of those times. That's where the story is. That's where we humans want to attach ourselves to the other humans. It's not all about slicing and dicing. And that's why he's a master storyteller, because he studied that, and that's what he puts under the lights or on the page or on his stage. Everything else can be backdrop.
Yeah.
It's masterfully done.
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy. I talked to him, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen an interview with you, Mr. Abraham, where you ever talk about Long Press Quartet, but we're gonna talk about Long Press Quartet here. and like half of the interview is me talking about Long Press Quartet, because I just like I'm just in awe of it. Like it's just like, yeah. I'm someone who likes battles, but only if they're interesting. And from the human perspective, I like of battles is strategist versus strategist. I like to see two like great minds going at it, like a chessboard. If it's just battle and there's not really any strategy, it's just like, let's take the field. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, let's move on. Like, this is fine. Just tell me who won. But yeah, he keeps it sparse. We only see two battles really. And then the battle for Machi at the end. And again, like my heart broke for Balliser when he reaches the tunnel and it's blocked and he's like, frick, Sinja.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a gut punch. Sinja, I don't like Sinja.
How do you really feel, Alan?
I hate him. I hated him first time. I didn't like him any better. any better this go around. Because
I'm glad I wasn't sure whether he was supposed to be someone I didn't like because I didn't like him either.
Ota's right. He did fight on the Galts. Like Sinja's so weird. Like he did slow the Galts down. Like it's definitely him. But at the same time, he definitely fought on the Galt side. He definitely led to a bunch of Kai-8 deaths. He's just an opportunist. Just a weird guy.
He's a mercenary.
Yes.
When you first meet him, he's hired.
He's
every freaking mercenary.
Oh, I know. But like some mercenaries are mercenaries with a heart of gold. No.
In stories. Yeah.
Correct.
This ain't that.
Sinja is mercenary like as far as that word can carry you.
Yep.
So we have Aya, his daughter, cannot have children.
Nope.
Danat is alive, but is taken with sickness. Though he is being looked at by a Galthic doctor. We have Samai and Mati on the run.
Yeah.
Because I love the moment where Ota is like, he wants to go and comfort Mati. Like he said if he wasn't dealing with trying to take care of Aya, he would. Like he would try to comfort him. And he loves Mati, but he's just like, you have to go. And I can't know where you are when my wife finds out what has happened.
Yeah.
Like, because the things he'll tell her. Like, he knows that if he knows where they are, he will tell Kian. And Kian wants their heads, like for what Mati has done to Aya. And I just love, like, in these scenes, there are so many ways that these scenes could have been written, that the exact same thing could have happened, and just different dialogue is done or different actions are taken by them. And it's just incredible what he chooses to do. He's just like, y'all have to go. Like you've got to go.
And I can't know. And that's the most friend thing he can do.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the most friend thing he can do is you've got to run. Don't tell me where you're going.
That's an interesting thing there, Alan, though, about perspective. And I'm sure, John, with your own writing, that's something you always approach. I remember seeing an interview with Steven Erikson talking about this, how he'd written one scene and he realized it would play better from the perspective of a different character. Yeah. Just knowing, instinctively, or even just experimenting and discovering, what perspective you write the scene for the maximum impact.
Yeah. I mean, we could have gotten that scene from Mati's perspective, but then we wouldn't have known that Ota feels for him. Ota wants to comfort him.
Yeah.
So instead
because Ota's a good enough man that he has a place in all this. Yeah. Like he backed his plan. Like he knows he's not stupid. He's a good guy. Like he does understand. But here's the thing. He can never let on that he does. He can never know where Mati is. And just as I have to shoulder this country and move forward with a barren daughter and a sick son and a weeping wife, and I have to shoulder this country forward. Mm-hmm. You have to shoulder the weight of being the scapegoat. That's your job. Suck it up, boy. I can't know where you are.
And and Ota, remember, like Ota killed Heshai to avoid all of this. Like, he killed Heshai so that the Galts, so that
wouldn't happen.
The Kai Saraket wouldn't use Seedless against the Galts. And here we are. But I mean, I liked when Kian or someone asks him when he changed his mind about that. And he's like, about the time that Aya was born and cried the very first time. That is when I decided that I will kill all of them.
Yep.
To save my kids.
That's it. That's it, man. That's that line. Hey, Alan, look at Anita's comment right there.
Where? Good rhyming,
John? Good rhyming, John. That's me, hearkening back to my beat poet days.
I missed your rhyme. What'd you say? Okay.
I don't even know.
If you're a beat poet, are you going to bind Where's Bad Berets like as
I'm binding no one. I've read these books. I'm binding no one.
That's good.
Oh my gosh. So we're at an hour, which is fantastic. I want to hear what you guys like. Do you have any thoughts about where it's going? What might like? Do you have any predictions for what's going to happen going forward?
I'm most curious to see what Mati and Samai do, because they might be the only hope to maybe find an Ondot. To bind an Ondot rather. I honestly don't know, because this feels like I mean, this feels like the climax, but I guess if it's
Yeah.
4 books is kind of one big story, even with the breaks, that's kind of where the climax happens. So I don't know how they rebuild civilization going forward after this. So I honestly, I mean, going into book 3, I knew there'd be a war.
Yeah.
And it would be the Galt and it would be the Kayam, but
Yeah.
you know, Price of Spring, I have no idea. I mean,
Well, we know
price,
if they are going to rebuild, they have to do it together because
Yep.
their races cannot
They
survive.
can't
without
survive
each other.
without each
Yeah.
other.
Now, whether or not they decide to do that is up in the air. But
And now their children are each other's children. And that line goes away. I look, I am to the point where I completely trust wherever Abraham takes me is where I want to go. I have hopes. I hope I see Ota and Mati in a room together one more time. I mean, you know, I hope we haven't seen the last of this magic system.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got hopes, but I'm fine to go in completely blind. That's how much I have become enamored with this guy's work at this point.
well, I mean, Ota will be in his 60s because he's 50, I think. I think he's exactly 50 in this book. And so he's in his 60s in Price of Spring. So this is like an old man.
God, so old.
I mean, you know, we're dealing with an old guy in this next
Watch
one.
it, Alan.
I mean, are you 65? Are you 66?
60.
Oh, well, yeah. Like Ota will be older than you now. Like in
Okay,
this
I'll
next
take
book.
it.
Ota will be older than you. But yeah, I am eager to see what you guys think. I had no clue about what Price of Spring was going to do, and now I can't imagine the series without it. Like it's necessary and good. It's wonderful.
I just want to end with this, and I think I told Josh, or maybe I was talking to someone else. Josh, we like to do one of these a year. We got hard shoes to fill for 2026, man. I mean,
yeah, we're gonna have to give this one some thought. What we're doing next year.
yeah.
Well, cool. John said he's reading his probably starting it by like the end of next week. Josh, when can you fit it in? Price of Spring.
Probably next week. I just started a book today that'll take a week. It's a chunker. So, but yeah, I was probably going to read it second this month, so I'll probably read it starting early next week.
And so we can do probably some early October get together.
Well, no, I mean, I'm actually gonna. I think I'm gonna after I finish the book that I'm reading. I think I'm gonna hit Price of Spring. Like, so we can actually do it relatively early if you want. It's on your channel though, right, Josh? The last one.
I think John, you're hosting.
I think it's my turn. Unless you want to do it, Josh, I don't mind. I defer to whatever you guys want.
Now let's do one on yours.
Okay. I mean, I'm cool with it. Yeah, if we could do it by month's end, I'll definitely have it read by mid-month for sure.
Heck yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I can't wait because then then we have the whole picture. And
yeah.
So, well, cool. Well, audience, thanks for joining us. You guys are great. Like, I love that people have read this series. It's just so good. And I love that you guys are also loving it. That has been awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, chat. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Anita's favorite book is book 4.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Nice. I like that.
Book 4 is my second favorite, so we'll see.
So far, it's book 3. Book 3 is my fave. Josh,
yeah,
what do you? 3.
Yeah, 3 is my favorite also. So, all right, later, guys. Here we go.